Hey, and we're live again on my worst holiday from a room next to my bathroom in my basement. This is My Worst Holiday, a podcast about your worst wedding, funeral, bachelor party, bachelorette party, or whatever stories that funny after the fact. We want to hear it. And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Tom Garland. Tom, say hello.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome for having you. Tell us all about you, man.
Well, like you said, my name's Tom Garland. Been doing stand-up comedy. I think that's why I'm here, because I've been doing stand-up for like 13 years. Traveled, toured all over the country. Started out in Iowa. It took a little while, but eventually.
You started out doing stand-up in Iowa?
I did. I started out in Iowa. Yep, in Cedar Rapids.
This is why I don't do stand-up, because I started out in Illinois, like down by Peoria.
Oh yeah. Well, that's where Richard Pryor's from. That's not a bad place to start.
Yeah, he moved on. Him and Kinnison, they went on. I didn't.
Yeah, well, he didn't finish the career there. That would have been a little weird, right? Yeah.
No, I'm as good as both of them, though. I'll tell you that right now. Right goddamn now.
All right.
I wish they were here right now so I could have a stand-up contest.
Well, they're dead, so you're the last of the living legends.
Yeah, I can call those fuckers out now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no, I do not want to have a stand-up contest with either one.
Have you ever done stand-up? I see you have comics on the show.
I've done a little bit. I've done a little bit of stand-up. Married, full-time job. And I'm in LaSalle for real. Not a lot of venues to get to. So. No,
what's the closest one there? Then it's Jukebox in Peoria. Then
Jukebox in Peoria. We just seen Bobcat down there.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I like Bobcat. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't live too far from us actually.
Okay, I could see that. A lot of those guys are Midwest because then they're central and then they can travel and whatnot. So when I started doing stand-up in Iowa, it really wasn't a bad place to start in that you get a lot of stage time. You're kind of 5 hours from everywhere. And so I did a lot of stage time in Chicago. I would drive into Chicago and I was spending about 1 week a month on my buddy's couch in Chicago. And I started young. I started when I was like, sometimes not young enough, but I was like 21, 22 when I started. And so I started driving to Chicago, crashing on a couch there, getting as much stage time in as I could. And then I would work the road and do bars and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. I did there's a contest down in Peoria. I did pretty good in that one. I did a couple just small bars and stuff like that here and there, but never really anything big.
That's fun, man. That's so cool. I respect that. I respect anybody that gets up there and gives it a shot. There's like anything, like the podcast world, like everything, there's levels to it, so
yeah.
I like to think I had gotten to a really fun level. To me, it's like doing golf or something where even if you don't see the financial success side of it, at least there's the point when eventually it starts to get easier and easier, and then you just have fun up there.
Is that the way golf works? Because I'm not sure.
Well, not for me necessarily.
I know I like Bloody Marys. I know I like riding around on a cart. Yeah. I know I like hitting the little fucking ball. I also like screaming cocksucker every now and again. But
well, you can do two of those four things in the comedy club. You can drink the Bloody Marys and scream cocksucker, but probably shouldn't play with your balls or carts.
Exactly, or drive the cart. Yeah, I don't want to drive the cart around it. But yeah, I can dig that. Yeah, it's like, it's like I've only been playing it for about 30 years, and now I'm getting to where I know I'll still never make any money at it. So I know that,
Well, I know comics like that too. They're like, it's funny. You always see like comedians have their own bios, right? They always have like a bio. I sent you mine before the show because we had, this is the first time we've met, right? So it always says the bio and it says like what that you know them from or something like that. Mm-hmm. A lot of comics will say he's a young comic, he's a young up and comer. I'm like, this motherfucker is 40 years old. I'm like, he's been doing comedy for 35 years. Yeah. When's he gonna hang it up?
So. Good old Rodney didn't start until his 50s, like 50 years old.
And there's
Black both.
There's Rodney, there's Lewis Black, there's two people out of 7 million. So
they hit the fucking lottery just because they're talented. Yeah. So,
I'm with it.
You're right. Yeah, this young man, motherfucker's 75. What are you talking?
Exactly. And they never look like the headshot or anything like that. Yeah.
They're out there going like 23 skidoo, like what?
I think it's always funny. It'll say like this young comic or this young guy, but then the headshots in black and white. I'm like, they couldn't have been too fucking young. Like
that's because that's all they had.
this guy's got his picture in
Come
front
on,
of the Model
Tom.
T. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, we would have used chromatic, monochromatic. They didn't have it. It's like
yeah.
He's jamming out to, God damn it, can't think of his name. Simon. Paul Simon. Don't take my Romeo away. So you're from Iowa. You went out to Vegas for a little while. You came back to Iowa, married.
Yep. So I toured eventually after about I'd say 7 years or so of nonstop touring. I was basically in a different city every night once it got rolling, and I was living my dream. I was doing comedy full time, and then I kind of realized that I wasn't happy doing that, even because I had to travel every day and I couldn't have long-term friends and relationships and that sort of thing. So I thought I'll go to Las Vegas to calm down, which is kind of a crazy thing to do.
I was a little excited, so I did a bumper of Coke. What are you talking about? What?
Yeah, so I went to Vegas, but Vegas has at the time
Vegas to slow down.
To slow things down. Yeah. So I figured the crowds come out there, and I had some relationships with different clubs and promoters and that sort of thing already from being out there quite a bit. And so I thought that would be a good place to kind of, sink my teeth into. I was there for 4 years. I had a lot of fun while I was there. I got to open for cool people. At one point we had a residency show going with Tom Green, and I was his opener for 5 shows a week at Bally's Casino. And that was pretty cool. Did a bunch of different, everything from variety shows to,
how was Tom's stand-up? How was his stand-up?
Tom's Green, he's hilarious, dude. It's so cool. I'm of the age where Tom Green was on MTV when I was about 14 or so. So, to me, it was like getting to hang out with Bugs Bunny or something. It was like I got to meet, a real life cartoon. I got to hang out with him and spend a lot of time around him and learn from him and all that. So it was a unique opportunity, and he was always a really good guy to me and stuff. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then there was at one point when I was living in Vegas, I think there was 13 full-time comedy clubs, plus you have a million other shows that all use a comedian on it, from burlesque shows to variety shows to different stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shows, they'll use a comedy opener. At one point I was doing a show with the guys. They were a Kiss tribute band, like the band Kiss, but it wasn't the real Kiss, they dress up like Kiss. And I was doing warm up for them at the Rio and stuff. So that was fun. And I was getting a ton of stage time. And then our mutual friend, Bruce Leonard, he kind of was fighting in the open mic scene and breaking into the clubs at the time too. So that's how I meet him. And I used to go down to Bruce's show at Champagne's on Tuesday nights. And it doesn't even start till midnight. So I would work
until midnight.
Yeah, so I would like work the clubs, and then all of a sudden I'd kick it for like another hour or so, and then I'd go down there at midnight, get on stage at 1 a.m, and I loved it there, dude. I met my wife there; she's a wonderful person, and then the pandemic hit, and then all of it came to a screeching halt. Yeah, there was a day with my wife that I had seen it on the news. Yeah, I had seen it on the news, and I thought, this is never gonna happen here. Like they're going to shut the world down. They're never going to shut Vegas down, these casinos and stuff. And then not only did they shut it down, but it was like crazy, just absolutely would not end there. And so the family's originally from Iowa. And so I had called my dad and I was like, are you guys, how's things going there? And he's like, we're back open, like everything. So after 6 months of waiting in Vegas, then finally we moved back here.
That's the cool thing about the Midwest, as opposed to like a bigger town, like the little towns and shit like that. I think we're okay. We can open up a little bit now, like.
Yeah, in hindsight,
like in a major metropolis like Vegas,
Yeah, and who knew how to deal with it or whatever. I don't blame anybody, point fingers, whatever. It's just the way it went down. But yeah, for whatever reason, Iowa was open, so we moved back, and then got back to work and have slowly started inching back into stand-up over the last like year or so. So
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're getting back into it. That's
thank
very
you.
cool.
I appreciate it. I'm enjoying it all over again. Yep.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the clip that you had on IMBD.
Oh yeah. There's like maybe like a second of my stand-up in that. That's more my bad acting. That's
No, it was good. It was
I
good.
appreciate it.
Like I don't know. It was it was good. I enjoyed it anyway. So
Thank you.
It's on the clip that I posted. So
Very
everybody
cool.
click that fucking link and
Appreciate that.
watch it. I gotta see if we're I'm pretty sure. Give me just a second here. I didn't look and see if we were live here yet. There we are. Let me do this and see if we have anybody chit-chatting with us. There's a couple comments that I haven't seen yet. Oh, Brandon Scott McFadden from the Old Time Radio Show. The fuck. He had a podcast. He's not doing it anymore, but it's
very cool.
Radio
Very
show.
cool.
Yeah, the coffee something clutch. Oh well. Anyway, it's really good. He's really good. He's a good friend of mine. He's gonna fucking hate me because I couldn't remember it. Happy horror coffee show. Damn it. Yeah, the Old Time Radio Show. Something like that. But anyway, it's been a couple years. So still love you though. Says you look like Bob Seger. Let's see. Hey, can he sing? Please ask him to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Bob Seger. Okay, yeah, he thinks you look like Bob Seger.
I look like Bob Seger? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even – Bob Seger's like kind of before my time. I know Bob Seger, but I don't know what the fuck he looks like. I guess he looks like this or whatever. He sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow, though? That's –
I think he's done a couple of them.
He's done his rendition of it.
Yeah, something like that. I've never heard it, but Brandon, I guess
my last name's Garland, excuse me. Judy Garland sings.
Judy Garland. Oh, I get it. There it is.
Maybe that's the joke.
I don't know. Saying Bob Seger because he sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I get it because the Garland thing. Yeah, you're right. Just for me, please ask him to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Okay. All right. There it is. So, all right.
That's good. That's great. That's what we get for looking in the comments. That's what you get.
That's what I get for not remembering the name of his fucking show. Yeah,
true. Yeah, he might have just shit on your parade because of that. Yeah, I'm sure he's a young podcaster, right? That's like,
yeah. Hey, this kid's got it going on.
He's a young up and comer.
Yeah, he's an
who knows Bob Seger's rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
There it is. There it is. All right. So hit us with a story. What do you got, Tom? Hit us, buddy.
Just a story about anything?
Anything. Yeah. Any funny or embarrassing. It don't even have to be about you. It can be about something that you've seen or a situation that you was witnessing at the time. Anything.
Sure, absolutely. Well, so normally people come on the show, right, and they talk about their worst holiday. That's the
any.
Are you trying to get to that right away?
I kind of pigeonholed myself with the name of the show, and it took so long to build the fucking website and everything.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna change it.
Sure. Well, hey, I like that idea. That's kind of cool. You said bachelor parties at the beginning of the show. Before I moved to Vegas, I went on a bachelor party to Vegas, and there was like 13 guys with us. And this was rare for me to do anything like this because I was traveling and touring all the time.
Obviously, 13 drunk guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
around. You told some stories. You roasted some marshmallows. You made s'mores.
yeah. Well, kind of in a sense. You'll see where this is going.
About the girls you liked.
Yeah. So we get to Vegas and it's just it's like real life hangover, right? Which of course everybody's gonna say stuff like that,
Oh yeah.
If they talk about a Vegas bachelor party. But 3 people is too many people to go to Vegas with. Vegas is great alone. Like it's a great place for you or maybe one other person, but there's too many distractions and things and beep, bing, 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 bing. And so you're losing people all the time. But the one thing we decided we'd all do together was we were going to go to a pool party. But like a pool party in Vegas isn't like, it's like a nightclub during the day. They call them day clubs. It's not like you go to the pool and you have a couple beers. I mean, they have, bottle service and all that sort of thing. So we get pretty fucked up at this pool party. and we head back to the hotel, and we had this big suite, right, with 13 of us in there. And I hear like an explosion. You're talking about roasting marshmallows. I hear something explode in the hotel room, basically, but it's a huge suite. So I was like, what was that? The microwave is on fire, and my buddy's standing next to it, like, because it had exploded. And I said, what did you do? And he goes, I put my phone in there.
Why?
Why? I said, why did you put your phone in there? He goes, oh, because I got it wet at the pool party, and I was trying to dry it off. And I was like, so you put your phone in the microwave? What'd you do? Press popcorn? That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. We still give him shit about it to this day. He was at the Verizon store. We were like, tell him what you did. Tell him why you need to know.
Tell him what you did.
Yeah.
You look at that man and you tell him what you did to your phone.
Yeah. So I'm sure he appreciates that. That's the first thing to come to my mind when I get put on the spot and want to tell a story.
He gets his phone wet, and so he puts it in the microwave to dry it.
Yeah. It's just the weirdest shit.
In his defense, it's faster than rice. You can't argue with that.
It was
the sparks means it's working. That's what that means.
It was faster, but I don't think. Yeah, I mean,
I bet the sparks are drying it faster.
Yeah, that's some stupid shit, man. Of all the Vegas, I spent tons of time there. I was there, like I said, I lived there for 4 years. That's one of the dumbest things I still to this day anybody I know of has ever done there. You think like, oh, I slept with someone I shouldn't have, or like I did a drug.
I'd rather do that than throw my fucking phone in a microwave. That's what I would rather do.
I lost all my money at the casino. You'd have felt better if you went down and put $10,000 on black and lost than to have to tell people, like, I don't have a phone right now because I put it in a microwave in Las Vegas. It's just pretty stupid. So, yeah.
God. Flunked physics, huh? All right. Well.
Yeah. I was like, you can use my phone, but you have to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Bob Seger because you kind of.
There you go. Everybody, we were talking to Tom Garland, stand-up comedian, actor, producer, very funny guy. He's from the Midwest, like me. Hey, represent.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Just told a great story. Kevin Neary's watching. Hey, and we just told a story about. He just told a story about a dumbass in Vegas who threw his phone into a microwave because it was wet. When you don't have time for rice. Popcorn setting.
Exactly.
So you were how long were you in Vegas?
I was in Vegas for like 3 heading on 4 years, doing stand up there mostly.
All right. What's the most fucked up person that you've seen in Vegas?
Well, what's funny is Vegas
other than the telephone guy, the microwave guy.
The microwave guy. Yeah, exactly. Well, Vegas has me and my wife ended up calling it the Vegas moment that would happen all the time, where there would always be some strange character or something like that. One weekend we would staycation a lot. We would get some money up and then think, let's not leave. Let's go stay at one of the hotels and party.
Let's go to Vegas.
Because you know what happens is that you live there and you're broke. And then you see all these buildings made out of like solid gold and shit. And you're like, wow, that looks like so much fun. Well, let's go to fucking Applebee's because that's all I can afford. You just end up doing the same shit you did in Iowa in Vegas. You just fucking eat at Olive Garden and whatever else. So we get some money up. We stay at the MGM Grand one night. And no Vegas moment, no crazy shit, right? And I was like, wow, that's pretty weird. But hey, good night. We get in the elevator, bing, go up to our floor, right? Get all the way up to our floor, doors open. There's a guy passed out, laying in front of the elevators. I was like, don't wake him. We just like stepped over him.
Just tiptoe over the drunk guy.
Like, don't wake that guy up, like whatever. So the big thing when I moved there that I was really excited for was I was a big drinker at the time, and I thought there's no public intox law. That's awesome. That's a great rule and a great thing that everyone should embrace. Like you live in Illinois, right? Don't you think they have that there, public intox? Don't you think that's stupid?
Oh, yeah.
I go to the bar, I'm walking between bars and they can arrest me for being drunk in public because I'm stumbling, but it's all bars around you. So like, what's the deal with that? I've always thought that was stupid.
Right.
I moved to Vegas, and then you realize what life is like without the public intox laws. There is just bodies laying everywhere in Vegas.
It's
There's
New
just people
Orleans, motherfucker.
yeah, there's people, you pull into the gas station and there's just somebody in the bush just laying there, and there's nothing they can do about it. So there's crazy people everywhere. There's people living in the sewers there. You know, and like there's homeless people in Vegas, and like there is Iowa and Chicago and Peoria and that sort of thing. And it's like, you feel for them, you love them, you want to help them out. But there's homeless, and then there's sewer. Sewer
Yeah.
is like a level below. That's when you're just like, nah, fuck that bench. I'm gonna go down here. There's better drugs down below.
Right.
It's some crazy shit, man. That's next level. So yeah.
Crispy Stroking Kager is watching. He has a podcast called Porch Trapping.
That's great, man. You get a lot of support then from all the other podcast dudes.
I do. Well, I've spent a lot of years building these relationships with these wonderful people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like several of them's been on. One Chris, I've tried to get on, and he just keeps blowing me off. He's like, "Fuck you, Mark," and I'm like, "Okay," Actually, no, he's a very nice man. He's
That's good. Good.
But yeah, no, a lot of years building relationships, and just to let everybody know, something big has kind of happened. And you're here to witness this, Tom.
I appreciate that.
This is a new logo for a channel that's coming out. It's called Mosaic TV, and it's going to be a channel. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be on Roku, and My Worst Holiday has signed a 6-month contract for a new channel.
Congratulations.
Mosaic. And they reached out to me, man.
Congrats, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So you're going to be on TV, Tom.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that, dude. That's yeah, and it's not cops, so that's always.
No, it's not cops. Yeah, exactly. Usually, there's a new channel on. Here's your whole thing of cops. Here's the old Barnaby Jones series. So yeah, exactly. Ironside, didn't that get canceled in the 70s? So I'm all excited. It's the first time I've announced it on my podcast. I'm gonna have somebody. It's gonna be on next Thursday. She's another individual. It's gonna be on the channel. I hope everybody tunes in for that. But yeah, I'm just glad I got that lead in there. But
oh yeah, plug away, dude. Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, you'll be on. So yeah, you're gonna be on TV. So we're gonna be national. Okay. Still kind of fucked up about that, but anyway. So you're still living in Vegas. You're married. You guys go to a nicer hotel. You step over the dead guy, and then what's the next thing we see in Vegas?
Well, I don't know. Eventually, like I said, COVID shut everything down. Which I at first I thought I never took a break doing stand-up. I did stand-up for 13 years. I was on stage almost every night. I got really into it really quick. And one of the things that even when I was in Vegas, I was getting on stage multiple times a night too, as well. So, I was probably doing, safe to say, 15, 20 shows a week,
Yeah.
By the time I hit it an 8 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, and then an open mic after that or something, I was at the clubs first and then the open mics. So I was on stage all the time. So I thought, hey, this is a cool break. I'll get a break for a week or two. Right. And then Vegas kind of opened back up for it was 2 weeks to stop the spread. Right. That's what they said. And then it's just, yeah. Yeah. It's a long fucking 2 weeks.
How pandemics work.
No, that was some bullshit. Right.
Well, I grew up this thing. What was that they did in school? Science.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. Science. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, they shut it back. They shut everything back down. And so that was probably an indicator that it wasn't good things from there. Right.
Right.
But one of the things I'm I'm most proud. So I was looking, me and my wife lived in like a 600 square foot apartment at the time. So we basically lived in what was the size of a hotel room. And
Right.
we're like, we're trapped with each other. We're kind of going crazy. We had just started living together like a month before that. And then every time you go outside,
Very cozy.
Every time you go outside, it's 120 degrees outside. So you just go outside and cook, and then you're like, fuck, I got to get back in the air conditioning. And then you're like, wow, this is driving me nuts. I got to go back outside.
I'm trapped.
So even one day I was like going to blow off some steam. So I thought, I'm just going to drive to a park and park my car and just sit in my car,
Mm-hmm.
And so I drive to the park, and a police officer rolls up next to me, and he's like, I was like, you're kidding, right? He's like, parks are closed. And I was like, so I can't park here. I can go park at Walmart.
Sit in my car?
Yeah, sit in my car. And so I was like, I'm just going to do the same thing at Walmart. He goes, then go to Walmart, bro. So I go to Walmart. I'm just sitting in my car.
The majesty of Walmart. God, can you just breathe it in, and you find the best parking place you can, and you just people watch.
Yeah. Well, you watch to see who had toilet paper at that time. You hit them over the head.
No, I was smart, man. The first Chris Kager says, how is it they cured COVID faster than STDs? That's a great fucking question. Why is herpes?
That sounds like that guy has STDs.
He's like,
you might have just given yourself away.
Where can I find a $40 hooker? And I'm like, well, Chris, you really ought not try to find a $40 hooker. It's if you do, well, then you deserve the STD that you're gonna fucking get. So,
yeah,
you get the STD you can afford, Chris. I guess that's
no doubt. That's funny.
No, I used to like to watch when the hipsters were real big and like just watching the douchebaggy things that they would wear. Like this guy he had a big beard, and he had a hat that he wore on his head. Now when you and I wear a hat on our head, we wear a hat on our head. This set on top of his head, and it was like a little derby.
That's called a yarmulke. Did you know that?
No, I don't believe he was Jewish. I don't think it was a Jewish thing. No, I don't think so.
I was like, I don't know if that's anti-hipster as much as it is
he might be worshiping Gorgoth or I don't know. But anyway, it was like on top of his head, And
yeah.
It was.
I'm like, you like the Billy Madison, like when he's going down there. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking at my wife. Look at that, like that.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, sorry, did your parents have any kids that lived? No? All right. Well, it's good for them. Yeah. Yeah, the majesty of Walmart. It's just I experienced it twice today, actually. So
you went to Walmart twice in one day?
Yeah.
Did you forget something, or why'd you go back?
I did. I forgot something, and then I'm putting new speakers in my truck, and I bought some speakers, and it turned out I think the rear ones were smaller, so I took those back and got the smaller ones. It was a whole thing, and then my wife needed creamer, so
there you go.
Wife says I need something. The way you go.
See, I'd be afraid to buying speakers at Walmart is smart. That's economical. I'd be afraid to pull up to Walmart with new speakers in my car, though.
No, they're not
into that creamer. You come back. My speakers. What the fuck? I just bought those here.
Yeah, don't worry. It's LaSalle, Peru. I'm not really worried about it. I can keep my keys in the car.
True. Yeah, you're in Illinois. Yeah, you're in freaking Peru, Illinois. So yeah, you're safe, dude. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Vegas is crazy, man. So back to that. So eventually I get a call from one of the promoters, right? This guy had booked it was like a Mexican restaurant / bar that sometimes did shows. And he was like, hey, the owner's basically saying, fuck it. And we're going to do shows, no masks, no nothing. And everybody's going to go down there and do stand up. And I was like, I didn't know what to think at the time. I hadn't really formed a strong opinion on COVID yet because the information is just coming out on it. But I was like, that doesn't sound like the smartest idea. But it also, in a lot of ways, sounds historic, right? It sounds like kind of a badass thing to do. And so I was like,
I started doing this thinking thing.
Yeah.
They got science and then.
Yep.
But then again, that sounds like fun.
So the guy, they have this show. I'm one of the first comics they put back on stage. They have this show, and so I was kind of freaked out to do it. And the place is packed, and everything's closed down in Vegas, but this place is packed. They're serving liquor. No one's wearing masks. It's just like life never stopped, right, inside there. So I was like,
hey, doorknobs. It's off the fucking hook.
So I would just sit out in the parking lot, and then I would be like, yo, just yell at me when it's my time to go on. And then I would run in the door and like do stand up real quick and then run out. Yeah, and then I would run out the door. Yeah.
They're out the back door flashing you with the flashlight. Click, click. You got 30 seconds, buddy. Click, click.
So
come on there.
Those guys were like, they didn't care about any of that shit. So they were like, you pussy, you idiot. Like, that's the stupidest shit. You think you're going to get COVID? And then I would go home and my wife was on the other side of the fence. My wife was like, I can't believe you went to that. And she's like putting cleaner all over me and like washing, she's like burning my clothes. And like, she's like, you brought that into our house. And stuff. So I was constantly torn. But then, nothing reopened there. So there was just no reason to stay,
Right.
I mean, it did eventually, but, not
on
to
the front side, only 4 people died. The rest
yeah, exactly. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did the math. I know my odds are good. I'm okay,
No doubt. Yeah.
That 1 out of 100 that they just fucking ravage, like.
Yeah. So who knows? So that was kind of a crazy Vegas thing that I never thought that would be like, something I'd come home with. I figured, I'd play these, it would end with me playing some big show or something like that. And instead I'm at a Mexican bar on Desert Inn Road, and I was like, I think this is the end of the line. Like, I think this is it.
This is the end.
So it's kind of crazy. I come into town. Normally that goes the other way around, right? Normally you start at like the little bar and you work your way up,
Right.
But it was like I started on the strip at Bally's opening for Tom Green. I ended hiding in a parking lot, running on stage to get my stage time or whatever. And I'm just like buzzing in there. And some guy's like, hey, that looks like Bob Seger. And I go up and run out or whatever. And then
I like the way you brought that back around, Tom.
Thank you.
I like the way you brought that back around.
Thank you. And it's hard. It was hard to like write about it too, because you're right. People were dying and it was like a really serious time. There was riots. There was all this shit going on or whatever. So I would try and go on stage at first. And I was like, go on, and I'd be like something about, I'd be like, how could they figure out COVID when they haven't even figured out STDs? And I would do some stupid shit like that, right? And then people would be like, what is he talking about? And then I figured like I had to talk about it, and so, so I did do some material about it. But it was so weird because the whole world was changing every day, every day to day there was something new going on and whatever. So it was kind of hard to keep up with. And then I kind of took a break for 2 years, which was really weird for me. But we came back here, like you said, not a lot of comedy going on in Peoria, Cedar Rapids, the same way. And the closest full-time A-room comedy club to me is the Funny Bone, which is in Des Moines, which is a 2-hour drive for me. So I had just gotten married, loved my wife, got a new place together, and was, started a new day job. And I just thought, I'll make it to Des Moines sometime. And I just kind of never did. But
Cedar Rapids is right around. Oh, yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Right around.
Right around the other side of Cedar Rapids. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah.
All right. So I just came up with this joke the other day, and let's see if everybody thinks it's funny. I slept with I had a threesome with 2 Rachels, and I felt I was by Rachel.
Okay. That's pretty good, actually. That's not bad.
Well, I also slept with 2 girls named Chandra. It was a double on Chandra.
See, I like that one better. There you go.
Okay,
I thought the
by Rachel was pretty good.
Nah, Chandra better
no
than
love for that one? I'm not getting any fucking love or any hearts for that one?
Shit.
God damn it. No thumbs up, no hearts, no smiley faces. You think this kind of humor is easy?
We gotta get you back to the jukebox, dude. That's where you fucking bang it out.
Yeah, I never did. It was the Hotel City Center. It was a comedy club down in the Hotel Hollywood or damn it, Holiday Inn something comedy club that was down there years and years ago. It was like, well, I was supposed to go on, and I lived out in the middle of nowhere. I lived like literally there was a restaurant across from me, another house, and then nothing for another quarter mile. Like I was out in the country, and the night I was supposed to go on, there was a huge snowstorm, and I just got buried.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to do 5 minutes, and the next night, because I called them up, and I'm like, there's no way I can make it. And they go, hey, you can go on tomorrow night. And I get there, and they're like, can you do 10? Like, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you owe us the 5 from last night. Yeah.
Watch me go, and watch me just stop after 5 minutes, stare at the fucking crowd, and go, I can't think of shit. Like,
yeah, that 10 can be a long 10, you know.
And that's my first time on stage. And
I was really? Like, okay, God, yeah, you didn't sell that part right.
Like, yeah. I was killing. I was doing great for 5 minutes.
And then you hit a wall, yeah. Yeah, that's tough, dude. That's like, yeah.
Hey, so where's everybody from?
Yeah, they threw you in the deep end, bro. That's terrible. That snowstorm stuff, that's a real thing though. People don't appreciate that with road comedy either.
Yeah.
You know? So I worked, like I said, I worked the road for like 7 years, and I would work for all these different agents, some of them good, some of them bad, right? And one of them I got to like less and less as I worked for this guy, right? And so he would book me a lot, but he would book me a lot. He later told me, he was like, you know, Tom, I've never seen your act. You just always show up. And I was like, you've been booking me for years. You never stopped.
I don't even know if you're good.
Yeah, he's like, nobody ever complains, and you always show up. And I was like, you have to be kidding me. So this is the guy I'm working for this weekend, and it's like I think it's like a Ho Chunk casino in Wisconsin. And at the time, I'm still living in Iowa. I'm like working the road, but I'm coming back. I had like a $300 a month apartment that I would come back and switch out my laundry and then go back out for weeks at a time. And so I'm going back, but there's like a blizzard snowstorm, and I can't see, you know, my hand in front of my face, let alone like seeing the windshield wiper. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So
everybody in the Midwest knows exactly what the fuck.
Yeah, there's cars like pulling off the road. And I'm just like, I just keep going. So finally I get like, it's like a 6-hour drive. I get like 2 hours into it. And I call him and I'm like, hey man, let's just chop it. Let's figure out, tell you what, I won't even take the money that you owe me. You just try and keep whatever they gave you. And let's just say, screw it. Right. And he was like, no, this is a big one. You're supposed to headline. It's a casino. I can't lose this. You know, and he's like, you know, you don't headline for me a lot. You open for people. And he's like, I gave you an opportunity. I'm going to take you.
I'll make a phone call.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
This is a big one.
Yeah, no shit. So I'm like, God, you son of a bitch.
I'll owe you one, God.
Yeah. This was comedy God. Because, I mean, this is who I worked for. And, you know, this is like my boss at the time, basically, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, motherfucker. So I'm like, I get through it, right? And I finally pull up to the casino. It's like, you know, 30 minutes before the show starts, and they said the opener didn't show up because he thought the same thing. He was like gonna die on the way there, right? So I'm like, good. He's the only one. Fucking
pussies,
you know. So I check in. I go down. It's this huge showroom, but it's like in the middle of the casino. But it's this huge. It's made for like, you know, like a big band, like Guns N' Roses is supposed to play that, you know, like it's a giant stage with big speakers and shit, you know, and there's 400 seats and there's 2 people there. I'm like, you son of a bitch, dude. And then so the casino comes out and they're like, hey, so since there's nobody showed up, we're just going to give you your money and you can just go back to the room. And I was like, no. I drove
You're getting the show.
Yeah,
You're
like,
getting the fucking show. You wanted me here.
Yep.
Dig in.
Yeah. So I did like an hour and 20 minutes to no one. And I'm just going off. And
I'd go totally Andy fucking Kaufman on him.
Yeah, I did. It was like an Andy Kaufman
Andy fucking Kaufman reading The Great Gatsby.
They like couldn't get me off stage. Eventually there's like, so it's like in the middle of the casino, right? And they have like, they keep calling like jackpot winners and bingo numbers and shit. They're like, winners, winner. So I start fucking doing that. And like, cause they can hear me in the casino. So I'm like, you've got another winner. If you're at B7, you just won a new car. And I'm just like, I'm doing like cars that are being towed and shit like that. I'm like, if you are the driver with a black sedan and you are parked in section D8, we are towing your car. And I'm just like going, finally they're like, that's enough and whatever. So I,
hey, you don't like my fucking act.
So I get done. I go to the room and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. You know, I'm kind of thinking like that was kind of crazy, you know. And then they have like, you get a free meal at the casino, right? And so I thought, well, before I drive back the next morning, I'm going to get my free breakfast from the casino, right? So I go down to the breakfast buffet and the guy goes, there's a guy and he goes, hey, you were the comedian last night, right? And he goes, yeah. He goes, that was pretty funny. That's pretty funny. And he was like, I was like, how did you see that there's nobody there? He's like, I was back at one of the slot machines. I could hear you. And he was like, you're doing the bingo numbers and shit. That's pretty good or whatever. Like, we were fucking with them and whatever. But there's always somebody likes it. So even, I guess, point of my story, even when you're doing your 10, even when you're struggling, I'm sure somebody was feeling you. And isn't that the point? You know, isn't that the point of these podcasts and all that sort of stuff is. Yeah. That's why we do it, dude.
Absolutely. But thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate it. You've got the floor again. Tell everybody where they can find you. Tell me that they can send you money on Patreon. Do you got a Patreon?
No, I don't have a Patreon. I should probably get one, dude. That's a good idea. Yeah, I should get like that or OnlyFans or some kind of shit.
I'm thinking OnlyFans. Hey, there's a look for a guy who looks like a big toe. I'm telling you what, man. I got a buddy, and God bless him. I love him to death. He's a fantastic guitarist, young guy, had a stroke. And we were talking to him about getting on OnlyFans because there's a kink for everybody, you know. You can do OnlyFans. Like
the stroke kink, probably few and far between, right? Don't they always say that?
Right? It's a big fucking world. Yeah. So.
There's always like some girl saying she's like, I'm in the top 1%, you know, that's what they always say, right? I'm in the top
of what?
Yeah,
I mean, that's left way open. I'm in the top 1%. Of what?
Yeah, well, they do
a lot of percentages out there. Whole lot of percentages.
They did say like of earners, you know, like I'm in the top 1% of earners on OnlyFans because I got big tits or whatever. Your guy with the stroke, he would just be in the 1%. Like I'm the one guy with a stroke. He's in the top 1%,
exactly. I would be in the top 200% for a medium-sized penis. I think would be my yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there's guys that do that.
I'm in the top 1,000%. You know, for a guy, you know, like.
I like how you said medium and didn't sell yourself short, though. You were still
no. It's not Gordath the Destroyer, and it's not Peony the little weenie. It's just a little kind of a middle. Yeah, you know, ain't gonna kill anybody with it, but I ain't gonna tickle anybody with it either. You know, it's like
that's great.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah. These are facts, folks.
Yeah, so I don't know.
This is where I am. I'm never going to be on a porno unless I produce it myself. So let's see.
Well, don't aim so high, you might get there. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can't probably send me money anyway. My only source of that is a birthday card from grandma. Maybe if you figure out my address,
biggest fan.
Yeah,
fan.
No doubt. But I am always looking.
I'm funny.
I'm always looking for people to watch my stuff or connect, though.
She doesn't think I'm funny anymore.
No, probably not. No. Was your mom there?
Months. So was
your mom there the night that you bombed after the snowstorm?
Oh no,
You didn't tell any friends or family or anything?
I had my cousin.
Your cousin?
Yeah.
I bet he told fucking everybody in your family that you
I
saw.
had him come and record it. I had him come and record it because he had, and this is back in the '80s, and he had a VHS that looked like
Okay.
the news camera guy from Channel 8 News, you know, like back in the day, and like this. So this is like late '80s, and anyway, he didn't rewind the fucking tape all the way back to the beginning, so my set wasn't until like an hour and a half into the fucking video cassette. So you're just under. You're just seeing people do this for.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good video cassette impression. That's pretty great.
Oh, stop, Tom. Anyway. But again, everybody, thank you so much. Tell everybody where they can find you. Tell them what you got going on. Tell them what your movies, your shorts, or whatever you got going on. Tell everybody.
Yeah, so you can connect with me. It's just TomGarlandStandup.com. That's got all my stuff on there. TomGarlandStandup.com. Also, I'm in a movie right now that's on Amazon with Rob Van Dam. He's a WWE legend, WWE Hall of Famer. Yep, you can see our movie together. I was Rob's opener. We used to tour together around the country. I was his kind of comedy friend that he would do shows with and stuff. And eventually we decided to bring our friend Joe Clark on tour with us. And Joe is a filmmaker, and Joe shot a whole movie about the tour. Interesting thing with this is that originally we set out to make just a stand-up comedy documentary. But along the way, Rob had a concussion. And so we get into exploring concussions in WWE and the effects of that, and his long, illustrious wrestling career.
Sure? Are you sure it's not the weed?
Yeah. Well, he is.
We're talking about Rob Van Dam.
He is Mr.
I know who Rob Van Dam. See, he comes down. Yeah, well, I've got a buddy. He owns Dreamwave Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Rob came down, and he's just the coolest fucking guy. Oh, I didn't meet him, but one of my best friends did. He's like, he was the coolest fucking guy, and he was just perma-baked. Like, are you sure it was the concussion?
Yeah, no, he is perma-baked. That's a nice way to say that. Yeah, and he loves his weed. But hey, man, I mean, you know, if you to each their own. You can make money doing what you love, and you know, I don't think there's any drug tests in his, you know, corner of the world and that sort of thing.
It's legal. It doesn't fucking matter, man.
Yeah, and he lives in Vegas, and it is legal.
They ought to outlaw concussions, because those fuckers will hurt you. They ought to keep the weed legal, but the concussions, they should outlaw them fucking things. That's all I'm saying.
Science, right?
Science.
That's what we talked about.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Tina Leach Williams is watching. She's been on my show a couple times. Hey, good news, Tina. We're gonna be national. You're gonna be on it too. So anyway, all right, and thank you, Tom. Tina, you should have joined us a little bit ago. This is Tom Garland. He just got done singing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." It's Judy's grandson. A lot of people don't know that about him, including him. But he's a lovely, lovely human being. And I really thank you so much for coming on. And I want you to hang out after we're done here, after I sign off, and we'll talk for a little bit. But thank you so much for coming on. It's been a joy, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Good luck with the show. Congratulations, dude, on signing the deal.
Mosaic TV going to launch in about 2 or 3 weeks. And Tina was actually my first guest on StreamYard, so Tina's going to be national.
I'm going to add that to my fake comedy bio. It's going to say, he's a young up-and-comer who looks like
a young up-and-comer. He's 55 years old, but golly, that kid's got the...
You can see him on Mosaic TV and driving through snowstorms.
People say he's the bee's knees. That's what he's the berries. That's what they're going to say about me. That's it. Yeah, born in 1967. That's golly, he's hip. He's a hip cat. That's all right. Well, and from that being said, you can send some money to me. You can send it my way, you fuckers, you cheap bastards, at patreon.com, at myworstholiday@patreon.com. You can send it there. If you like a show, if you like any show, send them $1, you cheap bastards. It's the cheap and most entertaining thing you could ever pay for. Very cheap. If I had 3 million followers, and you gave me a fucking $1 for every one, I wouldn't have to do this shit anymore. I'd be hanging out. Anyway, and from a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this has been my worst holiday. Good night, everybody.